Hey guys, in this tutorial we're going to make this 3D dancing crap in the free Cinema 4D Lite that comes with After Effects. So we start in After Effects and we go up to File, New, Max on Cinema 4D file. That'll ask you to save. If you have any problems, I've got a tutorial on troubleshooting. I'll link that up here. Okay, let's start by making the crap itself. If we go up to the spline tools and choose a helix, and then we come down to its attributes object, and we can flip that up on its top, and then just take that end radius in slightly. You can see we kind of get the curly poop shape. So next we want to add some geometry to this. So we actually need to sweep a shape down it, and we want to sweep a circle. So let's go grab a circle, and then in our generators we want to choose a sweep and make both those things a child of the sweep. Now it's important to note that having the order of these is important. So the circle will be sweeping the helix. If we have it this way around, the helix will be sweeping the circle. So let's bring down the radius of that circle to something like this. And then just quickly talk about navigation. Either use these icons up the top here to pan, zoom, or orbit, or use the 1, 2, or 3 keys on your keyboard while clicking and dragging. So 1 click and drag is pan, 2 click and drag, zoom, 3 click and drag, orbit. So let's line ourselves up here, something like this, I think. And let's spin this shape around towards us. So something like that. We need to fix this little bit so it has some geometry for the top. So if we go into caps, and we can just add a little bit of rounding there. Adding some more segments to smooth that out. Then we're going to go up to our primitives menu, this little box, click and hold, create a sphere. And actually it's easier to kind of move objects around each other in what's called a 4-up view. So if we click this little top box, it'll break the view into 4 different views. Our perspective view, top, right and front. So now we can kind of move things out, and as you can see, when moving them along the axes, which are these kind of handles, it's nice and easy. So something like this. So that'll do for one eye. I think I can see some kind of edges on this, so let's smooth that out by adding some more segments, maybe like 30. And then to duplicate within the perspective view, just click and drag while holding Alt, and that will allow you to do that. I'm gonna select both and just line them up into the middle a bit better. Maybe increase their size a little bit. And then let's make a pupils as well. So you can just click and drag and duplicate within this top view, just drag it forward and shrink down that size by going to the radius. So now let's make the crap mouth. And we're going to use the same method like we made the body with this sweep. So I'm going to start with a circle, and in our front view we can kind of model this. I'm actually going to hit this little button over here which makes it editable, so it makes the circle editable. And then if we grab our pen tool, and we can see we can grab points on our circle now. We can just grab that top point and kind of bring it down into the middle there, something like that. And then we want to sweep some geometry along that. So let's have another circle sweep that. And then we actually need the sweep generator and make both of those things a child, remembering that the hierarchy is important. And then obviously that looks absolutely mad at the moment. So let's bring the radius down of that circle that we're sweeping along our mouth. I'm just clicking on the object tag here. This is point mode, this is polygon mode, edge mode, point mode. So if you want to move objects around, just make sure you're on this top one, and you'll get these handles back. we can kind of move that in front of our thing, so it's obviously way too big, and we're getting some really nasty jagged points. So we want to just smooth the Bezier handles out. So we can click this circle we made editable, go into our pen tool, go into the point mode, and actually click one of those, and we can get the handles. So we get handles to come up. And then just to smooth these edges out a little bit, we just need to go into here, just add a few more segments to this. We can go back into our object, back onto our mouse, and then just hold T on the keyboard, and that you can scale that mouth down to a reasonable size. And then I think I'm just gonna grab all of that and move it up slightly. There we go. So all he needs now is some legs. So if I go to this right view and I take the spline pen, and with this we can actually create splines kind of by drawing them. So I'm going to click once here, and once here to make a leg and foot. And again, the same process we did last time, create a circle that will sweep along it, and then bring in the sweep generator and put those both underneath, and then change this radius down. As you can see, that's not quite worked. It's kind of flat, so we actually need to change the orientation of that circle so it actually sweeps the right way. And then add a little cap to his front toe, add some more segments to smooth that out. Back to our object, back to our mouse, and then we're just going to duplicate a second one of those, and then we can bring them both directly under the middle. Next, let's get this little guy dancing, and let's go back to our perspective view, and then we can actually utilize deformers to make this very simple instead of keyframing everything. If we go up and go to our deformer menu, click once to create a bend deformer. We actually need to put all of these into one group, so we can just hit everything and go right click, group objects, and then we can make that bend deformer a child of that null. Let's rename this. So with that bend deformer a child of the crap group, we can actually see what it's doing here. He's got a kind of little he's got a little thing going on there, and we can obviously have him like shaking and grooving. Woohoo! We want it to affect kind of just the top region. So let's reset this to 0, and let's expand the box out by holding T until the arrows turn to boxes. Click and drag to extend that shape, just bringing it up with that axis handle, something like that. And then if we use the strength, you can see it's just the kind of top part of the shape that moves, and you can actually just have that not really affect the eyes at all, something like that. And then all we need to do, keyframes to the angle, so you can take this back to 0, add a keyframe, go to maybe 30, add a keyframe, kind of swinging this top over to the other side, and then add a keyframe where it kind of swings back. So then we get something like this, which is quite cool. And then we want the whole thing to kind of twist as well. So we're going to utilize a twist deformer and throw that underneath the crap group as well. And then we're going to again hold T to expand that box. You can actually also expand the box here, but it's it kind of does it in a uniform way when you hold T. So let's see what the twist does. When we twist the angle, he kind of whoop, 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 kind of little boogie going on there. 15 maybe there. So then we have a little kind of dancing man. If you're just getting started with 3D and want to start learning the fundamentals, I've got a free course over on my website, and there's a link in the description below. That covers all the fundamentals and utilizes the free version of Cinema 4D Lite that comes with After Effects. So one little thing I want to just set up before we go and look at this in After Effects is just going to this little cog icon and then changing this to 1920, 1080, making it full HD. We can save that and then jump back to After Effects. That's created a Cinema 4D file. You can just grab that and throw it into a composition. And there you can see, you can render this out, and we're looking at it through a kind of draft render at the moment. If you want the full version, go to current on this render settings. Okay, so let's color this guy in. On my example, I used a toon shader, which you can grab if you download the project files, but we're just going to use standard materials. So double click down in this material editor to make a material, double click that to bring open the editor, and from here you can kind of choose whatever color you want. Obviously a brown would be quite fitting. Throw that on. Well, I hope that was useful. If it was, please consider giving it a like and a subscribe. Really helps the channel when making new videos.